Welcome back to the 128KB podcast. We are back once again.
Yes, due to lack of popular demand.
I got stuck in a yes loop, didn't I? I was trying to catch you off guard at the start, actually.
Yeah, wait.
If I start really quickly, you're not expecting it.
Yeah. No, I was kind of expecting it then. I sensed it.
Your
Your
spidey senses were tingling.
They were.
This is your weekly dose of all things gaming.
Ooh.
I cut my hand, everybody.
You did, making me a bacon bap.
I did. I got the baps out for you.
You did, yeah.
You like it when I get my baps out?
It's lovely,
Good. Your weekly dose of all things gaming. We're here just to chat about the world of gaming with you and keep you company for half an hour, whatever it turns out to be.
10 minutes.
There's no rules here. Sometimes 10 minutes. And then we're scratching our heads as to what we're going to talk about for the next 20.
Amazing. We've got a doozy today, though.
A doozy indeed.
Yes.
But before I get into what it is, they already know. They've seen the title.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Did we even title this episode? Was it just blank? Like
Just
self-titled?
Question mark.
Yeah.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Or you could go like one of those really quick clickbaity YouTubers, like, I quit.
That's it, yeah.
Or this video will delete in 24 hours.
Yeah, people are going to hate this. Oh, yeah.
The end? Question mark.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Hey.
Talking of clickbait, have you seen how much stick Beat 'em Ups is getting?
For clickbaiting.
For clickbaiting.
Which is all he does.
I know, and then, so he's got this like doom cycle that he's stuck in. YouTube works a lot like newspapers used to work.
Yes.
Headlines sell newspapers. Yeah. So the best headline writers would often sell the most newspapers.
Yeah.
And headlines are about trying to summarize a story in a short enough period of time to get people intrigued as to what happened.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
YouTube works in the same psychology.
Yeah.
But we're competing against millions of other videos that are from 10 years ago and some that thousands that are released every second. You know?
Yeah.
So you have to create enticing titles in order to get people to click. But you have to strike a balance with being like authentic and honest with your audience.
Yeah.
It has to be about that thing.
Yeah. It can't just be totally random. Yeah. Can't be like saying the title in this video, we bought a Porsche, and then it being completely irrelevant.
Yeah, completely irrelevant. Yeah. That's a good example. Because he's probably the most famous Nintendo commentator.
He's the biggest Nintendo YouTuber, for sure.
Over 1 million
1.5
subscribers.
million or
It's
something.
a huge channel.
Massive channel.
Been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah.
And in his own style does a very good job.
Yeah.
No, not mocking him at all. And the Nintendo podcast, massive success. Yeah. I mean, fair play to him. I'm not jealous of that at all. But he's stuck in this doom cycle of he has to play that game in order to continue his success.
Yes.
But every time he steps remotely into an enticing title, the community come out and slate him.
People get upset.
They get angry with him.
Really upset.
Yeah, they're on his channel getting angry with him.
know, yeah.
Honestly, and I'm not suggesting anyone does this, but if you're genuinely upset with a creator, just don't watch them.
Yeah, just
YouTube's big enough.
Yeah, just don't do anything.
Just like best thing you do, unsubscribe and walk away, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But no, they have to chime in with him and criticize him for his clickbait. And then he has to make a public apology for the clickbait. But because of how videos tend to be made when you get bigger, they're made quite well in advance. He's probably already made the next video and it's going to be clickbaity already. So in his apology, he has to acknowledge that there's another slightly clickbaity video coming out.
Yeah. He should just not bother like rising to these people.
No, he got grief for one a couple of weeks ago for talking about his dream Nintendo Switch 2, what the Nintendo Switch 2 should be.
I saw that pop up. I haven't watched it though.
Yeah. It's kind of benign. It's just
talking about what he wants in the Switch 2.
Yeah, but in his own style, and it's kind of
Can't
exciting.
see anything
There was another one he
about
got trouble for that he apologised for was I'm being followed or something.
Right, okay.
And again, it caused a lot of concern, and obviously he wasn't being followed. Obviously, someone who's in genuine mortal danger is not making a YouTube video about it, uploading it.
No, like he's an entertainer.
Yes.
He's making entertaining.
It was like a bit.
Yeah.
It was a skit.
It's a sketch.
Yeah.
And with the rise of what's been like number one on Netflix recently about being a stalker, right? Like he's playing on that.
Yes.
Obviously. Why? I don't know. I think it upsets me to see him get so upset by people's reactions.
Yeah.
He should just not care.
He should.
You know what I mean?
He's big enough not to care.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Who cares? Just do what you want, mate.
Yeah, and like most people understand it. Most people are like most normal people like us. I'd say normal. Most normal people don't watch every video from every person.
Yeah.
You'll dip in and out.
Yeah. Depending
Life
on what
happens.
it was. Yeah.
Maybe you'll watch a bunch in one go or whatever.
Or it might just be that you're not interested in whatever it is. You know?
So for me, and I'm sure it's the same experience for you, I don't watch all of his videos.
No.
Occasionally I'll watch one.
Yeah.
I saw his apology before I saw the video.
Yes.
And so it's like, so by him acknowledging it, he's just kind of adding more fuel to that fire.
Yeah.
Like, best thing he could have done.
Yeah.
If you really feel that bad, put a tweet out and forget about it.
But to be fair, maybe he's really clever and he does it on purpose to drum up even more. I mean,
I didn't want to go there, but yeah, it does feel a little like it. How do I get more views?
Yeah. Well, why not? You know, why not?
The opposite end of that spectrum, slightly smaller creator, not Nintendo, but handheld. They used to run the podcast together. Bob Wolf has like the opposite approach to that. It's like a 0 Fs given about the whole thing.
Yeah.
If people give him stick,
he just doesn't acknowledge it.
Doesn't acknowledge it, move on.
Yeah, he just does what he does.
Yeah. We're just people that are really enthusiastic about this thing. No one that's doing this, or very few people that are doing this, are experts to the nth degree. They're just enthusiasts.
Yeah.
They're going to get
make mistakes.
Wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to say wrong things.
Yeah.
Going to do things that some humor that not all people appreciate. But anyway, I don't know how I got down that.
I don't know, but it's a good. I don't even know what the title is of this video yet, but I'm enjoying it. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm enjoying.
Who are you? Who is this? What am I doing here? There's cameras.
I just woke up here.
Is this the police station again?
Yeah. I've been arrested.
Why are you recording
That can be the title.
I've been arrested
by AJ. There we go.
Oh, it's just me in an orange jumpsuit for no reason.
No, I'm in the jumpsuit. You've arrested me.
Oh, I'm the
police. Yeah.
Now we're just playing out your fantasies.
Okay, yeah. That was the other video. That was the other channel.
Yeah, that's a different website entirely. No, what I wanted to actually talk about today, and it's a bit of a pet hate of mine.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a broader discussion about why there's so much negativity around games, in gaming in particular, in the internet landscape. And I guess the title really is, do all game reviews suck?
Yes.
Ignore game reviews. Game reviews shouldn't exist. We actually don't review games.
We don't,
which is
for this exact reason.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. And I don't think we've ever reviewed a game.
No, we've done first impressions.
We did a first impressions, which aged awfully. And it was at that point I was like, I don't think I want to do that again.
No.
And that was of the GTA Definitive Edition. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
That was a long time ago.
I do, yeah. And to be fair, no one really cared. Do you know what I mean? Like I did first impressions of like Dread and stuff like that, you know. And in my mind, this is the reason why I've always said I don't do them. And every time I would live stream, which granted was a while ago now, people would come in and ask me, why don't you review games? It's like, because unless I've completed that game,
so hard,
like actually completed that game, I don't feel like I can review it. Because you can't review something without fully experiencing it. You can't play the first 3 hours, which is what most reviewers do, right? And then say whether the game's good or bad or not. Because at 6 hour mark, it could all go down the pan. You know, it could be broken after 6 hours or whatever, you know.
Or get really boring.
Or whatever.
Final Fantasy 7. Bingo card!
But, you know, people don't realise that. And so for me, I always felt like I was doing a disservice if I was to title something a review. Because I'm not qualified then on that game to give an opinion.
Totally agree with that.
So first impressions is exactly that. It's like a mini
we kind of
review.
framed them a little bit differently. And I'm not afraid to do first impressions again.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Realistically, the best way to do them from an organic, authentic perspective is to do it live.
Yeah.
I play it, you watch me play it, or we'll talk about it as it's happening in chat.
Yeah, because then it's full transparency. Whereas a load of, like I said, loads of reviewers only play the games for a few hours and then class that as their review. You know, and then they base their entire review, which someone might be really into that game. They might get slated because the first 3 hours is boring because it's a long game or something. Then all of a sudden, little Billy that's really excited feels turned off by the game, maybe doesn't even buy it now. When really, like, it could be his perfect game. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got their own opinion.
So there's two bits I want to touch upon. It's there's the kind of professional reviews that we see from the big publications, the gaming journalists. which is a weird expression in of itself.
Yeah.
But there's those, and then separate to that is the user reviews and kind of user hype, hyperbole, the problems that happen when you go onto Reddit.
Yes.
Just if you open Reddit in general, Twitter as well, to be honest. Yeah. That how discourse around games always ends up being like a negative doom spiral of some kind.
Yeah.
We'll start with the game journalists though.
Yeah.
My bee in my bonnet.
Get your pitchforks out.
Yeah. And what really annoyed me with this isn't necessarily how we feel about game reviews ourselves on these channels on 128KB. It was born out of Stellar Blade. And in fact, both camps of this is born out of Stellar Blade. It's become a really divisive game. Yeah. For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, this is the one so recently that we had to like bring it up.
Yeah.
But this has been going on and we've felt this way for years.
Yes, 100%. I think we may have even touched on
we've spoken about it. Yeah.
Definitely said it before.
Yeah, we've definitely done a video about it in the past.
We've done so many videos. I'm sure we're just doing the same video over and over
I think
again.
we are. But we do always forget. So we just keep doing it.
We're like a 1-year loop.
Yeah.
In a minute, I'm going to talk about Crisis Core again.
You might do.
I might in this video.
Yeah.
Stellar Blade has become incredibly divisive. In of itself, okay, Stellar Blade isn't the best game ever made.
Speak for yourself.
It's not the best game ever made. I'm just talking objectively.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's not pushed any boundaries, like
The
really
physics
far.
are really good in that.
Yeah, they are. The jiggle physics are amazing.
Yeah.
No, it's not pushed any boundaries. It's not the most controversial game. It's not the game with the most sexuality in it.
No,
the most nudity,
not.
the most violence.
No.
It's not got the most limited story. It's not got the most expansive story.
Yeah.
It is a very good, fun game to play.
Yeah.
End of story. If that was my review, this game is fun to play.
Yeah.
You should play it if you like fun games. If you like boring games like Civilization, don't play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're into Football Manager, not for you.
That is what reviews should be.
Yeah.
It should be, do you like Bayonetta? Do you like Devil May Cry? Do you like any sort of hack and slashy kind of, with a bit of skill involved if you put it on the right difficulty mode?
I do like those games.
Yeah, well then this is for you.
Oh, cool.
Done. You know?
How does it look?
Yeah, it looks stunning. Graphics are great.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 4,
Nice.
but it still looks brilliant,
Okay. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, exactly. Is there any game breaking bugs or anything? No, it runs perfectly.
Oh, okay. So it's a game that works well and is good fun to play.
Yeah.
That should be the end of the conversation.
Absolutely.
And then you make a decision yourself, objectively. Does that sound like a good decision to make?
Yeah.
I'll buy it or I won't buy it depending on how much money I have right now.
Yes.
That should be it.
That should be it.
But instead, this game has divided so much opinion that it's made me hate the internet.
Yeah.
We'll start with the game journalists.
Yeah.
Because the Metacritic average score from all the journalists that have reviewed this game so far, pre-release and then in the weeks.
Yeah.
Has it been a week or so since?
It's been
by the time this goes out, it'll be a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's got an average rating of 81.
Yeah.
Which I feel is an incredibly harsh score. There was a good... They give it like an overall score and then they tell you how many journalists rated it like positively or negatively. And I think it was 15% gave it a negative rating.
Yeah.
And the reasons they give summaries from these gaming publications and it's like, if you can look past the overt sexualization of the main character... I'm like, dude, that's the style of the game.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Bayonetta?
There's so many games though. You've got like Nier, and Bayonetta, and they're all real scantily clad. Like,
I know this is South Korean developers in this game, but also know with like Japanese RPGs as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the kind of that style of like kick-ass feminine who's also
scantily clad,
quite sexual as well.
Yeah, massively.
That's just part of the style.
Yes, being a badass,
We also see the same thing happen to like strong male characters or like overly muscular, who always have their top off. Or Baldur's Gate in the character creator where you have cocks swinging around.
Exactly,
right? And there was no criticism of that.
No one cared for that, no.
Can we just overlook that the sexualization is a problem in this? Because no one that's playing it is seeing it as a problem.
No.
That's not a reason to review it negatively.
No. And where were all this hate with like Bayonetta and everyone else? Do you know what I mean?
Have you heard of Bayonetta?
Have you heard of Tomb Raider?
Oh my God. Right, yeah.
Like that, and that stems back to the 90s.
Yes.
And
It's always or like the classic fighting games.
Yeah, and like Dead or Alive and stuff like that. The origins of jiggle physics. You know, but
or even back to like
those.
two-dimensional fighters.
Yeah.
What's it called on the SNES? The big fighter.
What, Street Fighter?
Street Fighter. Thank you.
Yes, like Chun-Li and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was all. It just was how it was. Both male and female characters were kind of sexualized.
Yeah, of course they were. Yeah.
They were like versions on steroids. The comedy part of Stellar Blade is that it's actually based on a person.
Real woman.
It's a woman that's been scanned.
Yeah.
So she actually does look like that. So it's not even like an overly sexualized
it's
representation.
a homage to the human race right there.
Yeah, humans can be that.
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah. One person in the entire population.
It frustrates me that in itself is a reason for them to negatively review it.
Yeah.
And that in itself, if people buy games based on reviews, will sway them one way or another.
Yeah.
So if they just look for the headlines, which is how I got into the bit at the start, they just look at the headlines and they slam this game and they go, "Oh, I'm not going to buy that game."
Yeah.
Because it's
just because of the character model.
Because this journalist I trust doesn't like that it's sexualized for some reason. But the headline will be, this game got and there was a good like 10 of them that rated it 60 out of 100.
Yeah.
Like, that's a bad score.
That's bad. Yeah, that is bad. That's a fail if you're doing an exam.
Objectively, that game is definitely not a 60.
No. This game is way higher than that.
Way higher.
Like, this is right up there. It's so good.
It's high 80s.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It's great fun. And purely based off the fact that it's great fun.
Yeah. I'd rate it higher, but then it's bang on what I love Bayonetta.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I love all of those types of games. It's right there for me.
Yeah.
You know, and my wife's the same. She's like, she loves that the character looks the way she does, you know, and the same with Bayonetta and stuff. That's my wife, you know, saying that she's all for the almost sexualization of women, because women can be so beautiful
and also be amazing
and be so badass. It's not a side character that's just there being all ditchy.
She's not the
whatever.
Bond girl who's just there for the light relief.
Exactly.
She's the hero of this or the heroine of this story.
Yeah, she's the main person.
She's kick-ass.
Yeah.
She's an action hero.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's everything, and she's also really like super attractive. Great, but also boil it down. It's not real.
Yeah. That's just the character model.
It's not real.
This game could have a potato as the main character.
It could be a cross on the screen.
But the game would still be just as good as it is right now. Do you know what I mean? Because the gameplay is fun.
To negatively review it, which is to tell people not to buy it. That's what a negative review is. Because of how the main character looks. Because you don't think that's right.
Yeah. Or because you think it's faked. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't realise it's based on a real person.
It's disingenuous. I saw clippings from articles from the same publications that rated like Baldur's Gate super highly. And then obviously the meme is like next to the character creator that's got like sticks swinging around.
Yeah.
And then in the same publication, the same journalist slating Stellar Blade for being over-sexualized. Like, dude, you can't have it both ways.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's not, I don't want to get bogged down in the kind of that debate. It's more the kind of bigger thing that game reviews just suck.
Yeah.
They just suck.
Yeah.
Because they never tally up with your own opinion. And it would be a much better place if we could just see gameplay footage, like the preview of the game, or like the old days, actually play the demo. Good to see we're seeing more demos coming. Like
demos
Blade was a good example.
Absolutely. Demos are what it's all about now.
Yeah.
They need to come back in full force, which they kind of are.
Yeah, it's great to see them coming back. It should just be, if you're interested in the game, you've heard about it, you play the demo.
Yes.
And then make a choice.
Yeah.
Just ignore the reviews.
Yeah. Well, again, like we were kind of saying at the beginning, I think the reviews should be factual.
Yeah.
Like, keep your opinion out of it.
Yeah.
You know, is it broken?
Yeah.
Does it suck in terms of like, does the story just fall off a cliff?
Yeah.
And again, that's subjective anyway.
Yes, it is.
You know, but, you know, there should be factual things. How long is the game? It took me this time to beat. You know, I didn't experience any clipping issues. No, there was no bugs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, or anything like that. It should be really factual. And that's it. Yes or no. Is it broken? No. Like, then it should go on to what kind of games do you like? If you like this, then it's not for you. If you like these, then yes. Or if you like a mixture of these two, then it kind of blends both.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how it should be. And there should be a subsection now for reviews of like opinionated review.
Opinions.
Yeah, opinions. Yeah. And then you can have your 5-page article about why you don't like her butt jiggling because of your own insecurities. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is separate in my mind. You know?
What really highlighted this for me with Stellar Blade is the average Metacritic being as low as it is when I know from experiencing the game that it's as good as it is.
Yeah.
And then you married that up to the user reviews.
The user reviews.
On the same website, Metacritic.
Yeah.
And it, what was it, 93?
It's really high, yeah.
Or 9 out of 10. It's like super high.
Yeah. It's really high.
From the user perspectives, it's totally overwhelmingly positive. Yeah. But yet from the critics' perspective, it's an average game.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, dude.
And this spans everything in life, to be fair. There's so many movies that are the same. Critics are like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And you go and watch it and be like, that was incredible. It was
great fun.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many movies I love, but if you went and looked up a review from like big sites online, they'll say it's crap.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no. Do you know what I mean? And that's why for me personally, and I advise everyone else to do it, take it, you know, have your own opinion.
Yeah.
Experience it for yourself. Like you were saying, you know, get the demo.
Yeah.
Experience it for yourself. And just do not listen to anybody else. And even the same with when I do all the controller reviews, someone commented saying, looks like you've seen this person's review of this controller, you know, that I'd done. So something in my review matched up to someone else's, which is obviously I'm stating fact in these, like, is it broken? Yes or no? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I put a bit of opinion in there, but most of the time I just say what is what. And I said to them, I was like, that's great or whatever that you think that, but I was like, I don't watch anyone else's reviews. I purposefully don't, because I don't want my opinion to be...
your opinion.
Yeah, I don't want to be subconsciously swayed and then rip off someone else's point. And the other thing is most of the time we get sent stuff before it's publicly available.
Of course.
So I can't even see their videos because whilst I'm making mine, they're making theirs. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I prefer that way. The same with movies. If a movie comes out or a game, I just go, I'm going to just try it myself. Yeah. I don't care what Billy Online says, you know?
With games in particular, it's really hard because so much of your opinion is going to be based off your personal experience. It becomes very subjective.
It's really subjective.
So to make what is like an objective statement, whether a game is good or bad, is impossible.
It's impossible. Yeah.
There's some fundamentals, like you say, is it broken? Does it work? Does it look okay?
Yeah.
Is it fun? They're like basic questions you can answer.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's all opinion.
Yes.
When you're talking about hardware, like you say, like we cover loads of controllers and stuff. Yeah. When it's hardware, it's very easy to have objective opinions. These things are these things. Yeah. These things are good about it. Yeah. And now, here's a little bit of opinion.
Yes.
But I've told you like the objective truths.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So with games, it's almost impossible for the game journalism industry to exist if we were to get away from like opinion-based reviews.
Yeah, I'm fine with opinion-based reviews.
But make it obvious.
But make it a separate thing as well. Like, or put your fact at the top. Like we said, list all the like, yes, no, does it run at 60? Is the frame rate like rubbish? Do you know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff. And then put your stuff after. Then that's okay, I suppose. Because if you follow a journalist and you tend to have the same tastes, then maybe that will give you a better idea yourself. Yeah. They might have some nuance that you reflect with, then that's fine. But people that don't follow that person, that could be anyone else, and they've just seen your headline, maybe it's the only review they read. Yeah. They don't read another one, and then you turn them off of it. Do you know what I mean? They've just not experienced a piece of art. Yeah. Because of your like whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's an agenda. And that's how with Stellar Blade, that's how it started to come across. It's like this feels like a bit of an agenda somehow.
Yeah.
Like, it's political.
Yeah, it felt like an attack, didn't it? Like it was.
So that, I mean, I said I wouldn't get bogged down in it, but it's so relevant and current that the kind of story and how it played out is almost comical. So the reviews came out pre-release, and it's getting slated for its kind of overt sexualization, and there was that unfortunate kind of art mishap that was in there.
Oh yes,
that they had to patch out.
Yes.
And once they did that patch out, they also changed some of the characters' outfits to make us slightly less revealing.
Yes.
Now, the developers said that was always their intention, but it's not. That isn't there on the disc version, which is the version 1. Yeah. It happens when you do the update.
Yeah.
So it was almost like they bowed to some pressure from Sony as the publisher for this to make these subtle changes. If it was released like it is, I think that everyone would still be complaining that it's very sexual because the character is.
Yeah.
But as it was, they made some minor tweaks and made it slightly less.
Yeah.
Now there was a lot of users complaining that they've patched out the sexualization from this game.
Yeah.
And now almost like a political movement. Now they're like pitchforks against Sony and like user bombing this game because a part of her cleavage has been covered up and they think it's an adult game. It shouldn't be censored.
There's other outfits.
It's like, dude, like I get what you're saying and fine, but also hear this, look at the game and forget the original version exists.
Yeah.
Like, does it still have all the things you liked about it?
Yeah.
There. Probably does.
Yeah.
Probably does.
Yeah.
And in this kind of politification, I've just made that word up.
I like that, yeah. That's good.
Of the contents of this game, the only person that's actually being damaged in the middle of it is the developer of the game.
Yeah.
By people refunding it.
Yeah.
By people not buying it because of either the critical reviews or all the discourse they're hearing on Twitter and Reddit about the censorship from Sony.
Yeah, I've been seeing people like putting refunds in for false advertising. It's like, what?
It's not false advertisement, but they're getting their refunds and that money goes away from the developer. Yes, Sony lose something, but Sony aren't going to cry about a game. They're a multi-billion-dollar company.
They publish and make their own games. Yeah, I mean, like
the developer of Stellar Blade is a mobile game developer, and this is their first foray into console games.
And it blows the pants out of 90%.
It's a marvel
of mainline games. Do you know what I mean? For their first ever entry, this is incredible.
But they're getting damaged in this tennis game in the middle,
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. Moving away from game journalists. I feel like I'm ranting the whole time.
I like it. It's good. Yeah, that's good. This is why I turned up.
And we've touched upon it a little bit, and it's the kind of it's the user side of it. We've seen the mismatch between journalistic reviews and user opinion.
Yes,
Stellar Blade was massive,
massive one.
And the funny thing is that after those user reviews get in, I bet it will drop loads now that the censorship kind of gate has happened.
Yeah.
As people start complaining about that. Whatever. The other problem is. And it happens as a game is launched or just pre-launched, and it's user bombing reviews, purposefully trying to underperform a game, undermine a game's release.
Happened with Starfield.
Starfield's a really good example of it
because there's so many like gibberish, like usernames with like smash your face on the keyboard, like just random letters and numbers, and then there'll be like no reason for the review being the score being low. Just like you're just spamming. Like there's just bots and stuff doing it. Why? Like, I've never understood that. Like, who's doing this? What, Sony? They're seeing Microsoft. They released a game. What? Like,
it feels very much kind of indicative of a bigger problem on the internet in general, and that's how everything has to be like red or blue. There's always this division. You're either left or right. You know, everything is divisive, one or the other, rather than actually like Sony or Xbox. Actually. Both are quite cool. They've both got good reasons to exist. And if you're fortunate enough, I would have both because you're going to win.
Absolutely. Like, we love games.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Just
like,
play games.
Doesn't matter what you're playing it on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Xbox's like new tact is, isn't it? As long as you're playing games, who cares what you're playing it on?
I feel like Starfield was a really good example of that. It was Bethesda's first new franchise for 20 years or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it was very cool to be divisive about that game.
Yeah.
Objectively, it has problems.
Yeah.
Every Bethesda game in history has problems at launch. That's not an excuse for it.
No.
But yeah, so if you're going to do that objective review thing, it's not going to be 100% this game.
No.
It has problems. But does it have parts about it that make it a fun, wondrous game that you can spend hundreds of hours in?
Addictive. Absolutely.
Yes. I spent over 100 hours in my one playthrough.
Yeah. I think you spent 145 hours.
Amazing. Yeah. And I had an epic time.
Yeah.
I I had more fun playing that game than I did Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And Final Fantasy VII is my favourite game of all time.
Yeah.
I had more fun.
That's crazy.
I never looked for the shortcut.
Can we delete this bit out because all the Sony fanboys are going to review bomb us down in the comments?
Yeah, review bomb the show. Thumbs down, ratio us.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just said something you shouldn't say online.
I know.
Yeah.
And here's the mad thing, like how your opinion can cloud the objective judgment. I know I had more fun with it because I didn't look to shortcut it at all.
Yeah, you just.
But
played.
I would say in my mind that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was I would rate it higher than Starfield, which objectively makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah.
And that's why journalist reviews make no sense into your judgment of a game.
Yeah.
But 140 odd hours. I had the best time the whole time. Was there moments where I wish things were better? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do I wish there was less loading screens?
Yeah.
Do I wish the dialogue screen wasn't so irritating?
Yes.
Or if there was a mode for transport across planets or barren moons?
Yeah.
Do I wish there was more points of interest?
Yes.
Yes. Do I wish that in some parallel universe in the future they make a co-op multiplayer version of this game?
Yes.
100%. The great thing with Bethesda is they're likely to do these things because they're going to support this game and this franchise. It's not going anywhere. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a great game. I've just started playing it again, and I'm loving it. You know, but they, as we've seen with the new updates that are coming later this year, they are still supporting the game, even though it came out last year.
Yeah,
you know, like so. Hopefully, we see those improvements.
Yeah. So like. Objectively, it's not perfect, but it's a great game.
It's a brilliant game. Like, I think it's great.
The discourse online is that it's one of the worst games ever made.
Everyone hated it.
Everyone hated it.
And
then whenever we bring it up,
yeah,
I just see the negative comments pouring in.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. You're allowed to say what you like under the video.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, but have you really played it? Like, that's the thing. Or are you just fanboying it because everyone else says it? It's like that group mentality thing.
Yes.
One person says it, and then everyone else goes, I don't have an opinion for myself, so let's mimic this person.
I'm too scared to have my own opinion.
Yeah. It's like, what? Like, I've never understood that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you think? Don't know. It's like...
It's always a lot cooler, in inverted commas, and easier to hate something it is to love something.
Yeah, especially if everyone else is on it. Just jump on the bandwagon. Do you know what I mean? It's like, nah, experience it yourself. You shouldn't be able to... It should be tied to your, like, game accounts. You can't even review it. Like, you can't even put a user score in unless you've spent like 20 hours at least in the game.
That's what I love about the Steam library.
Yes.
It will tell you how long this person spent in this game.
And it will be like negative, and you look at it and it says 20 minutes played, and you're like,
yeah,
you haven't even got past the loading screen, mate.
Still in the tutorial section.
You've just hit play.
Yeah.
No, and then you see other ones and it will be like 700 hours and it's negative.
Yeah.
And then those people are great because they really build it down. Be like, yeah, I've spent like nearly 1,000 hours into this game. These are things I love, but ultimately, once you spend this much time, these are the things that really bug me.
Yeah.
Those are great reviews.
Golden.
You know?
It's the one place where game reviews are absolutely welcome and make sense. The fact that community in the Steam library is living and breathing.
Yeah.
So yes, you have the overall rating for the game.
Yes.
But you also have like the recent
ones.
rating.
I love it has that.
Oh, it just makes it feel alive.
Yeah.
And like you say, when you dig into them, you can see on overall scoring, it's being rated overwhelmingly positive or overwhelmingly negative. I need to see why.
Yeah.
Go into it and have a look. This person spent 50 hours playing it. And these are the things I actually disliked about the game.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked, he spent a fair amount of time.
Yeah. I actually genuinely like reading some of the Steam ones, and mainly because as well, like you said, you've got the two. You've got the overall time.
Yeah.
Because as we've seen with No Rest for the Wicked, the game's in freaking like beta or alpha or something.
It's beta, yeah.
And people are like slamming it already. It's like, it's not even finished yet, guys. And you go on, it's like negative reviews. It's like, that bugs me because then when the game actually launches on day one, it's already got negative reviews. And that's where the recent reviews is a good thing.
Yes.
It's because once they roll out a patch or like do whatever, this is any game, like they can fix a game from years ago that's been rubbish. Then all of a sudden, all the new reviews are like, oh, it's brilliant now. And you don't immediately get turned off by that overwhelmingly negative or whatever, because you could see why it's now good.
Yeah.
Because it's been updated or whatever, you know, and that's what I like about that. Because it's living and breathing.
Living and breathing.
Yeah.
And again, I'll go back to game reviewers. That's the problem with what they do. They've got a game pre-launch and they may have it for, if they're lucky, a week pre-launch, and they're just steam through as much as they can and have to write their article or video. But it's cemented in time in that moment, and it's there forever.
Yes.
And because of the size and scale of these publications now, that's like the most noticeable, most visible review of that game.
Yeah.
And it was from when the game launched, sadly.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was based off their opinion, sadly. But when you get to something as living and breathing as a Steam library, it's actually the collective wisdom of players with dozens, maybe hundreds of hours of gameplay within the most recent period of time. So the most recent version of the game from game players that have probably had a lot of gameplay experience in it. It's the one place where game reviews feel right.
Because again, they're just alive, aren't they?
Yeah.
And again, like you take, for me, No Man's Sky. I would give that a massive injustice if I reviewed it.
Yeah.
Because I'd base my opinion on first impressions of the first few hours. I would say it sucks.
Of the first version of the game.
Yeah. Like, it was boring.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's really slow. Like, really slow. I just feel like there's nothing to do. I
think I spent like 20 hours in No Man's Sky when it first launched.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah.
The idea of the game was, I was excited for it as I was for Starfield pre-launch.
Me too.
It sounds like my kind of game.
Yeah, it sounded amazing.
So 20 hours was probably like 3 evenings playing it, 3 like long evenings of gameplay.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 actually. And exactly same experience. It started off, I was like, this is a bit annoying that I have to do these tutorials. I just want to go exploring. And then when I got to exploring, I was like, is it just resource gathering?
Yeah.
Is that the whole thing?
Exactly, yeah.
And then I go to like a starbase. I'm like, this is just a bit, that's not what the game is now.
No, now it's a totally new game.
But also, I know that the game now is not for me.
Yeah.
So if I was to write that review and we had 100,000 subscriber base for our magazine, I would have given it a hugely negative review.
Yeah.
My Metacritic score for this game would have been really low.
Yeah.
And that would be unfair to the game now and all the people that love that game now, and of which there are thousands, maybe millions.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is they don't update reviews.
No.
It's just in and done. And that's the other thing you said earlier about a lot of journalists will get that game for like so many days in advance, sometimes just a few days.
Yes.
And they smash that game. Or like I keep saying, they don't even play that much of it. You're already doing such a disservice just because you want to get out the door, number one, get the most hits.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough. That's the way it works, right? But you're not living with that game and enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? You're just steamrollering it just so that you can get your article out, and you probably can't even process. It's like binge watching a show. We were talking about the Fallout show, and you did it all in like one night, and I spent weeks watching it, and I had such a good time, like pondering about each episode and thinking about
being able to talk about it,
and you were like, I really wish I hadn't smashed it all so quickly, because I felt like I've ruined it for myself or whatever. And that's the same with really steamrolling games. If you really smash through it, you might be like, I missed this or missed that. And so how can these reviews do it justice? Yeah. And that's why I think the Steam reviews from the users actually do it justice, where they have, you could see how many hundreds of hours or whatever. Yeah. It's like, okay, that person's actually got some merit, behind them, not, I played the entire game in 5 hours, but really you could spend 500 hours here. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, meh.
The discourse that happens on Twitter and Reddit and in YouTube comments, especially in the shorts feed for some reason. I don't know why you're all so angry.
I don't know.
Just chill out of it. But the discourse that happens there is primarily negative.
Yes.
Or at least that's the stuff that gets the most visibility. I think they're just divisive places. People like to separate there.
Yeah.
And the reviews that happen by journalists can be incredibly damning. Or the opposite way around, they can be hugely positive about things that maybe shouldn't be so positive.
Yes.
I feel like there almost needs to be a platform that kind of enables you just to see and test, but to ignore all the noise.
Demos.
And I think that's demos.
Yes.
I miss demos.
Yes.
I miss demo discs. Just hit a light.
I did that earlier. Yeah.
I miss demos. I'm super happy that game demos are making a bit of a comeback.
Yes, I am, specifically for Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Because I saw that at the like Direct or whatever it is that they did, the PlayStation, I can't remember what it's called. whatever, and I was like, that looks phenomenal. Showcase thing. I was like, that looks phenomenal. Looks right on my street. And I was like, oh, but I don't know. Like, it might be rubbish. It might just be all glitz and glam, like, because it looked so over the top. Yeah. And I was like, this looks so cool. And I thought it might be rubbish. So I don't know. And then when I heard there was a demo, I was like, hang on, what?
Yeah.
And I smashed that demo like immediately. And I was like, yeah. Like, and that made me pre-order it straight away because I got to try it first.
Prince of Persia, Lost Crown.
Yes.
I had a great demo.
I had a perfect demo. I played that demo about 5 times.
Yeah, it was the perfect length for a demo. And it made me go, yeah, this game's good.
Yeah, I the same, bought it day one for that.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yeah. So we're seeing more and more of it. And that's a really exciting thing.
Yeah. Yeah, even for smaller like indie games as well, like Tales of Kenzera Zal.
Yes.
That's only like 15, 16 quid full price.
Yeah, so for them to release a demo is quite an expensive endeavour, isn't it?
They released the demo at the Steam Fest a while ago. Granted, it didn't work that great on deck at the time because it was the demo. And then later it got verified. So I was like, I know this is going to be better, but I've had a taste of how the combat feels and stuff. And now I'm confident it will be better. And then at launch, bought it, runs great on deck, great game.
Yeah.
That I might have skipped because I might have been a bit like, I mean, I wouldn't. It's a Metroidvania. But
you're obviously going to play it.
But for other people, I think it's perfect that they've got a demo out. Yeah. Even though it's still a relatively cheap game.
Yeah. Yeah. And probably a relatively short game as well.
Yeah. It's not like massively long. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I've let the bee out of my bonnet.
Yes.
I'm going to step down off the soapbox, chill out.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks for letting me in on your rant here.
Ignore game reviews because they all suck.
That's AJ's review of game reviews.
Oh, it got very meta, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Very meta critic.
Yeah. Oh,
I have to get a pun in each episode somehow.
We need to get our opinions on Metacritic,
Oh, 128 KB?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah. We'll just thumbs up everything. Do you like gaming?
We won't actually play any of the games.
Yeah. How many hours tested? 0.
0. 5 stars.
Did you have fun? Yes.
10 out of 10.
It's a game.
Yeah. I'd love to know what you guys think about this in the comments below on YouTube. Do game reviews actually affect your opinion of games? Have you ever been put off buying them? Or maybe enticed to buying something that ended up being not to your taste or just rubbish?
Yeah.
It'd be
do you actually care?
Do you care? Yeah.
Because I don't.
Do you care about what the discourse is around a game? Like, I mean, Starfield. I know there's a few viewers of this that played a lot of Starfield. There's a few members as well.
Yeah.
So obviously they're ignoring the negativity around it as well.
Yeah.
So it's it's just interesting to know.
Yeah, totally.
And if you've got to the deep end with us as well, and you're on the podcast platforms, thank you. Nice to have your company.
Yes, thank you very much.
Please do rate the show 5 stars, obviously.
Yes.
And if you know anyone else that might like gaming podcasts, consider sharing it with them.
Do it.
Yeah. What else should they do, Andy?
They should leave us a review down in the comments.
Yes.
And, just say that
review this review of the reviews.
Yeah.
That's good.
And say how good this is, even if you didn't watch it.
Ah, yes.
Don't watch or listen.
User score.
Just say that it was really good.
Yeah, 0 hours.
And whilst you're down there, and if you do think it's really good, become a member.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you can get access to these videos early. And also you can join our private Discord.
Yes, private members Discord. There's the occasional members only podcast as well that goes out on the channel when we decide to do them. We're not too tired.
And you can review pictures of my dog in the pets channel.
I didn't know where that was going then when you said pictures.
That's in the other private channel.
Oh, that's his own.
That's the higher tiered channel.
Oh, right. Okay. So don't sign up to that. I guess that leaves nothing else but to say, but watch some more videos from us. Smash between our faces. Boom. I don't know what they'll be, but they'll be fun, no doubt.
Yeah.
Apart from that one, I wouldn't bother.
No, that one got a bad review.
So until the next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.